I am Doomsvince, and this is day 32 of Spawn Year.
When Spawn's popularity was at its peak, there were some really silly toys produced, besides just overkill. According to my handy Spawn Year laptop, there was a Violator monster rig, a Spawnmobile, and even a Spawn board game. Is there any chance that's any good? If I were designing Spawn toys, I'd make a ball toss where you had to shoot foam balls out of a big gun through a hole in a plastic Spawn's chest cavity. You'd get 3 choices: Overkill's gun, the Curse's gun, or you could shoot balls out of a giant Violator head. I'm not even joking, that thing would have flown off the shelves. Spawn gets a big gaping hole shot through his chest a lot, and every time it happens, McFarlane is drawing. Coincidence? I think not. When Violator did it, he drew it in big splash pages over 2 issues. There's a new villain in town this issue, the Curse, a religious nutjob so obsessed with doing God's work and trying to get God to notice him that over the course of his life, he sacrificed one of his eyes, cut up his face, and sliced an arm off as sacrifices. Then he went to school, studied business, and made a fortune. No, several fortunes. It's that easy, which he used to build himself a bionic arm and fund his righteous crusade. This is all hilariously implausible. We aren't told what led him at a young age to have such an obsessive, blind faith, and he's such a stereotype he actually preaches on the street that God's followers must have, quote, blind, unquestioning faith. Wow, wear a prosthetic arm, put on a robe, rip your face to shreds, and wave a Bible in the air, and people will buy into anything. Since Spawn has recently revealed himself to the world, the green-clad Judge Dredd wannabe, the Curse, comes to New York looking for him to discover why God would give Spawn such incredible power, but not a faithful blind servant, well, half-blind, like himself, until he realizes that Spawn is actually, of course, from hell. I do like the idea of a religious zealot as a Spawn villain, but this guy is so overly simplified he's unintentionally funny. To test Spawn's mettle, he immediately blows a hole in Spawn's middle. Now, at the beginning, Spawn has committed himself to helping his friends in the alley and not to cause them harm after Fred committed suicide last issue, which he could have prevented, and after Chapel killed Bobby right before this issue in Youngbloods. I guess we're done with Chapel now. He apparently blew his own brains out in that issue, and I didn't get to read it. Thanks, Doomsvince. That seems kinda important to leave out of the lineup, don't you think? A little strange after the build-up of his and Al's rivalry and Al ripping his face off. That's all we get of him. But I suppose if Spawn wanted to, he could just raise Chapel from the dead like he does for Bobby. Oh, okay, it makes sense Spawn can do that. He can do anything except look like himself, apparently, and a big deal is made of how much it hurts Al. We finally see the clock again, so we know it's draining some energy, again, trying to limit him so he doesn't do things like that all the time. But giving Violator his powers back drained him to the point where he couldn't even support his own weight on 2 feet. Raising the dead seems way too easy. So, feeling so guilty for not putting people first and being a real hero, he brings a guy back to life. What does he do when he recovers from the hole in his chest, enough to fight the Curse, and the alley bums stand in his way so he doesn't kill the guy? He goes into a Wolverine-level berserker rage and plows through them out of a primal desire for revenge. He's beyond caring who gets in his way. Why do we keep progressing this character just to drop him right back to reacting wildly without thinking again? The last page degenerates into total nonsense. So tell me this, dear reader, using his power to resurrect the dead, only to forget all about that sacrifice when some genetic jerk face in a silly helmet attacks him, will he heal his huge gaping wound or ransack the dumpster behind Payless for shoelaces? Signed, Captain Logan.